my gorgeous Geminis. This is Debs, and yes, we're here for your reading for August 2026. Gemini, great to be with you. Guys, really interesting vision that came through in meditation. I saw someone in a factory, and they were looking a bit bored, to be honest. They were thinking, okay, another day, right? Another dollar. And they were taking apart, fitting a couple of things on, and then the part moved along this conveyor belt, and then they did exactly the same thing, exactly the same thing. But in the back of their mind, they were thinking, when can I leave? When can I leave? When can I go? Don't want to do this anymore. It's really boring. But when they clocked out that night, they had this punch card. They looked at this card and they realized that they were actually gaining points. I looked at this card in my vision and I thought, wow, points. Not just clocking in, clocking out. Okay, I arrived at this time, left at this time. They were actually gaining points. And Archangel Michael showed me the Wheel of Destiny, right? What I feel we've got here, Gem, is the universe saying to you, okay, this is not exactly what you want to be doing. This is not exactly feeding your creativity. You may feel a bit stuck. You may feel a bit frustrated. You may feel as if, well, I've just got to carry on because God knows what's going to happen next week or next month or next year. If you continue this, if you can maintain the momentum, Gem, there's going to be some kind of reward. That's what I'm getting. You are going to be able to move on to a new cycle, and you're going to be able to leave what might have been a very stagnant phase of your life in the past. But you have to keep going for now, right? You've got to keep going for now, Gem, with the view that in a couple of months' time or 6 months' time or next year, things are all going to change for the better. So, guys, that is the vision that came through. Let's begin. Let's see what the cards have to say. The deck that I'm using is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Every single deck I use is listed down below. If you guys want a private reading, I'm still offering 50% off all of my readings until further notice. I don't know, probably until the end of September, something like that. And if you want to join the channel, the link is there too. Yes, keep going, maintain the momentum. You may feel like a cog in a wheel. You may feel, my God, this is so boring. But if you can force yourself to get up every morning and do this, tick the box, punch the card, you are actually gaining points. And of course, Gem, we're talking universe points. Every single day that you get through, the divine takes notice because this is you working through your soul contract, right? Okay, people, let's do this. All right, guys. Yeah. So Archangel Michael, what do we have for my lovely Geminis, please? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What do we have for Gem, please? This is August 2026. Yeah. Gemini, you may be feeling a little bit cross, a bit antsy deep down. Knight of Swords. You told yourself the truth, Gem. You told yourself you've just got to keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Right. Keep up that momentum. You might feel like a hamster in a wheel, but you are actually getting somewhere in a different world, right? You are actually building points, not necessarily in the 3D, but in the 5D. Okay. That's what I'm getting. But yeah, I'm feeling the frustration, Gem. Knight of Swords. Oh, for God's sake, how long do I have to keep this going for? Want to get out? Where's the exit? Where's the door? Can I sneak out halfway through? No, Gem, you've got to finish this. You have to finish this. And you know the truth. You have to keep going. You know the truth. This is your soul contract written on this skirt, right? This is your soul contract. You know the truth. You cut through the illusion, Gem. And you know you have just to keep going, putting one foot in front of the other, because you're gaining points. Okay, guys. I hope you're still with me. All right, here we go. 9 of Pentacles. Maybe this is what you're aiming for, Gemini, the 9 of Pentacles, to sit in a beautiful, stable place. Or you may know that you are sat in pre-Empress energy. You may know, Gem, that as a feminine, maybe you are working your way through your soul contract. Crossing that is, Page of Wands. Every now and again, you feel a bit cross. And it rises to the surface. Oh, can I get out of this yet? Can I get out of this yet? Any windows in sight? Any doors in sight? No? Okay, all right, okay. Yeah, all right, back to the daily grind. Okay. This is you, Gemini, wanting to rush through something that you cannot rush. That is what you're wanting to do. The divine knows it. Your higher self knows it. You have to just keep plodding on for now. But you are gaining on another level. Just remember that. In the past, 9 of Wands. In the past, Gem, you very nearly gave up. In the past, you thought, you know what, can't do this. Downing my tools, walking out this office, ending this relationship, whatever this was. You'd reached a point where you just didn't think you could carry on. But I feel, Gem, after that time, you sort of kicked into overdrive. It's rather like when you're at the gym. And I have to admit, guys, I'm not a regular gym goer. I should be, but I'm not. But I used to be. And there was always a point at the gym where you felt yourself tiring. You know, say you're on the running machine, you felt yourself tiring and you thought, okay. But then your body kind of goes into overdrive and you get this spurt of energy. And that spurt of energy carries on until you begin to get tired again. And then your body switches gear again and you continue to do that. You continue to do that. And I think, Jan, that's what you did. This is the first level on the running machine, right? You got to the point where you're thinking, oh, I'm really tired. Can I get out of this? And then you kicked into second gear. No. Gonna keep going. After that time, my gems, you still thought, when can I get out of here? When can I leave? When can I turn right? This is you scrambling around thinking, okay, the windows are locked, the doors are locked. Oh gosh, everyone's watching me, can't get out yet. And there was a building sense of frustration, but you carried on, Gem, you carried on. What you're thinking about now, Gem, is it working? All this time, energy, effort, is it working or not? Am I getting somewhere or not? It may feel as if you're sort of flogging a dead horse, and it's a horrible expression, but that's what I'm hearing. You may feel as if you're on a hiding to nothing, Gem, but you are actually progressing. In the immediate future, we have the 7 of Swords. Okay, Gem, this is temptation time. This is you thinking, okay, I'm just going to take what I can from this and leave early. This is you thinking, I don't really want to complete this contract. No, it's way too difficult. No, I'm too tired. I'm really bored. I don't want to be doing this. This is you being tempted to just cut your losses and walk. But I don't think the divine is going to let you, because it's not going to benefit you in the long term, okay? In your fears, Gem, 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles. Interesting. What you're fearing, Gemini, is if you try to break free now and it doesn't work, you're going to have to build all over again. Those points are going to be binned. You're going to be back sitting, looking at that conveyor belt. You're going to be back at stage 1. I think that's what you're nervous about, Gemini. And I think that feeling is going to prevent you from trying to make a quick exit. This is you wanting to get out early, okay? This is you thinking, okay, if I come up with a plan to get out before I'm due to, I wonder if that's going to work. But your higher self, Gemini, is saying, oh, hang on. The consequences are, if this plan of yours, this 7 of Swords plan of yours doesn't work out, Like snakes and ladders, you're going to go all the way down to the bottom again. That snake just before the finish line is going to take you all the way back down to the start. And you know it, Gem. That's the thing. You know it. You know it, guys. So, in the environment, this is someone you're thinking about. This is someone you're connected to. Their energy is the Ten of Wands. This is someone burdened, Gem. They got their back turned to you. What you're thinking about is it'll be very easy just to sort of break free now, take a little bit of an exit out the other door because their back is turned. They're not looking at me. I could do this. I could do this. But what you're recognizing is, Gem, if it doesn't work, the burden that you have been carrying is potentially going to be put on this person. And if they are already sat carrying the Ten of Wands, this is someone who's simply not going to make it. This is someone, Gemini, who's going to drop everything and say, okay, I'm done too. And then where would you be? You may be thinking, well, I have a support here. I've got someone who I could give a little bit more to. But what you're recognizing here is, Gem, they're already carrying the Ten of Wands. I mean, this is someone really burdened. And even though you want to drop a burden, what you're recognizing is, I just can't morally do this to this person. I can't do it. I can't do it. Despite my frustration, despite the fact that I'm desperate to get out of this situation, I can't do it. Because they will go under. They will face a tower moment. And I can't cope with that. This is you thinking, I'd feel too guilty. Or I'd look back thinking, I can't believe I did that to that person. In your hopes, Gem, Five of Pentacles, you're hoping just to keep going, guys. This is you tired. This is you drained. This is you thinking, well, you know, I don't see that there's any progress that I'm making here. But you are, Gem. In another lifetime, in another world, as far as the divine is concerned, you are ticking those boxes that relate to your soul contract. And you're doing really, really well, because whatever you've been coping with here has not been easy. Has not been easy, right? And the outcome, Eight of Pentacles. I'm hearing offshoots of happiness, offshoots of happiness. Gemini, this is you thinking, all right, well, I'm going to continue to carry on, but I'm going to allow my mind to take flight to think about what I'm going to create once this is done. Once I can safely walk away, having fulfilled my obligations, having done what I was supposed to do, when I reach that point, I will know exactly what I want to do. I will know exactly where I want to go. This may be a way, Gemini, of you getting through the next few months or simply through the month of August. You are allowing your mind to fantasize about the day when you can shut the door. You can shut the door on the past. That is what you're aiming for. But what the divine is saying, Gemini, is you have to complete this part of your soul contract. If you try to get out of it early, do a little bit of a sneaky one, Gem, you're going to land a lot of burden on somebody else, and that is going to rack up karma. And you may lose all your points, Gem, right? Clarification for you guys, Five of Swords, yeah. You're very, very close to stepping back into your shadow. It's almost as if you're thinking, is anyone watching me? Is anyone watching me? I could hide behind this flower. I could step back into my shadow. But Gem, I don't think you're going to do it, guys. I don't think you're going to do it. You're standing at crossroads. You're gazing at that moon. Ah, when is it time? When is it time? When is it time? When can I get out of this? Well, when the divine feels it's time for you to get out of this, Gem, when you have learned a certain amount of lessons, right? Everyone has to learn lessons. Now, whomever is carrying this massive burden, oh my goodness, Page of Pentacles, they're worried, Gemini, that they are going to have to start all over again if they cannot continue to carry the Ten of Wands. They're very nervous. They're desperately trying to hold up this tower. They are worried, Gemini, that if they have to deal with anything else, that tower's going to fall. Now, I don't know, Gem, whether or not this is someone who is relying on you. They could be. Or this is someone, Gem, who has been struggling far more than you. They are coping with what they're coping with. And it's almost the energy of, I'm just going to suck it up and hope to God that I can get through this. So they may feel a bit irritated, Gem, if you decide to sit in the Seven of Swords and push away some of the lessons that you have to learn because you want to get out of this earlier. They may feel it would be unfair. Well, why should I carry the Ten of Wands and have to learn all my lessons and have to cope with all this burden if Gemini's going to sort of cut and leave halfway through? And they may also be slightly worried, Gemini, that if you do decide to do that, it's going to make their life unbearable. They are going to have to cope with the tower, and they really don't want to have to deal with that. So, Gem, this is someone you're connected to. This is someone who is a little stressed out. They can't cope with anymore. I think, Gem, you are desperately trying to take what you can and leave early somehow. And I don't blame you guys, because this is you feeling stressed out, right? But just know that whoever you're connected to is going through a far worse time, because they're sat in complete confusion, Gemini, as to what you're going to do. On top of the burden that they seem to be carrying, they are in their head 24/7. What is Gemini going to do when my back's turned? Is Gemini going to leave? Is Gemini going to just walk out the door? Is Gemini going to drop the responsibility and leave me in it? They don't know. They don't know, Gem, and they're very worried. So, guys, all right, Gem, here we go. Archangel Michael, tell us about the Nine of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. Yeah. Gemini, you might have been trying to create a plan to make a really slow exit, right? Slow exit. You might be thinking of a fire sign. You could be thinking of a Cancerian. This is you thinking, I could get out. I could. But I'd have to come up with a bit of a sneaky plan, and I'd feel guilty about that. And you may not feel as if you've got the vehicle you need, in inverted commas. You haven't got what you need to make a fast exit. This will be a slow exit, and so, Gemini, this might be very painful. Okay, this is you taking off a band-aid really slowly rather than ripping it off, because you're on a snail, right? You don't have a speedy vehicle to get you out of this fast. So this would be a very slow, uncomfortable exit, and you know that you'd be doing it sat in the Seven of Swords. And so, Gem, this has been on your mind, but you haven't actually done anything about this. You haven't done anything about this up until this point of time. Okay. The Fool. Yeah. What you're thinking about is, you could be thinking of, if not a Cancerian, you could be thinking of an Aries. But with the energy of the Fool, Gem, what you're recognizing is this would be risky. This would be too risky. Too risky to do this. Too risky to do this, Gem. King of Pentacles. You might feel that if you try to do this, you're going to walk away from your stability. You're going to lose your stability. And you're going to have to face karma. There's something here about you thinking about the energy you're sitting in. You're sitting in the feminine energy of the King of Pentacles. You're sitting in the feminine energy of the King of Pentacles. Nice and stable. The Emperor. You could be an Emperor. Or you could feel as if you are somehow chained to someone who wants to be in control, somebody who's pulling the strings. And there may be frustration about that. I mean, this could be you in a job situation, Gemini, thinking, I just want to get up and leave, but I can't because I'm not going to be paid. I'm not going to get my commission. I'm not going to get this year's bonus. This could be you desperate to get out of a relationship which you feel is too controlling, too stifling, too claustrophobic. But Gemini, this is you thinking, if you try, you may have to walk away from sitting in a very stable place. Even if you're bored to death, this is you sitting in fear. And so, Gem, you have told yourself, I have to just sit here and do this, be here, right? Tick the boxes, follow the rules and regulations for now, right? Yes. Yeah. A few times, Gemini, you may have wanted to speak your truth, but you might have thought, nope, because if I open my mouth, I'm going to roar. I'm going to tell someone what I really think. So, Gemini, you might have sort of, taped up your mouth symbolically and thought, yeah, no, not going to say anything, nope. You also held back from trying to make a move out of this again because you were fearful of losing your stability. For some of you, you may be connected to an Aries or a Leo. Okay. Ace of Wands. But Gemini, when you're on your own, your mind takes flight, dreaming of a passionate new start, dreaming of a brand new chapter of your life. Yeah, but saying absolutely nothing, right? So in the past, guys, 9 of Wands, you nearly gave up on this in the past. You very nearly gave up on this. And then I think you kind of got a second wind and you thought, no, I'm going to push on. It's going to be okay. So you did. It wasn't easy, but you pushed on. Yes. And it might be, Gemini, because 3 individuals were watching you like a hawk. Or it could be, Gemini, you were responsible for 3 individuals. The Lovers. Or maybe, Gemini, you kept thinking about being with somebody else, but you knew you couldn't leave. You knew you couldn't get out of the situation you were in. You made a choice to stay, even though what you were thinking about was, I just want to go. I want to get out of this, right? You were dreaming of changing your situation in the past. Page of Swords. You might have felt a bit testy about that. You might have felt a bit pissed off about that. You might even have had a rather difficult conversation with someone. Or you might have thought to yourself, if there was a child involved, I'm going to have to break the bad news to my child and they are going to be very upset. So if this is about romance, Gem, you might have thought, I couldn't bear to tell my child. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, right? 2 of Pentacles. So, Gem, you start the blindfold on. You thought, okay, I'm going to keep going, right? Yeah. This is you pressing on. Wasn't easy. But you managed to do this, Gemini, because your mind was elsewhere. You managed to carry on with this because your mind was in the stars. Whilst you were busy working, right, maintaining the momentum, your mind had taken flight elsewhere. That was the only way you could get through this. That was the only way you could forge forward, keep going. If you allowed yourself to fantasize about a very different future. So what you're thinking about now, guys, is you feel stuck. 7 of Wands. You may feel stuck. You may also feel a bit defensive, a bit cross. Finding yourself in the situation that you're in where you can't easily just leave. Feeling a bit cross. Hangman. Yeah, feeling as if you were sacrificing. Feeling as if you were sacrificing, Gemini. Pisces energy for Sun. Moving into the energy of the Magician, wanting to manifest, getting out of this again, wanting to manifest, moving in a different direction. King of Cups. Ooh. So, Gem, maybe you were thinking about wanting to be with a King of Cups, who could be a Pisces. But we've got Cancerian energy here and Scorpio with the Tower. Okay. Interesting, it's on this person's side. But anyway, you were thinking about the King of Cups in the immediate past. But why do I feel as if you had to push down your emotion? You just had to keep pushing your emotion down. Yes, Two of Swords. Two of Swords. What you were telling yourself was, I can't get out of this yet. I can't make a move yet. And I'm seeing the word yet in block capitals in my mind. I can't get out yet. Okay. In your thoughts, Gem, Five of Cups, you're not happy, guys. You're bored. You're a bit depressed. What you're thinking about is it worth it? Is it worth it to carry on in the situation? You're permanently thinking about change, moving, getting out of this, getting yourself released from this because you're feeling stuck and frustrated. Yeah, Three of Wands. Again, your mind is elsewhere, Gem. Your mind is elsewhere. You're thinking about the future. When is my ship going to come in, right? When can I actually go? When can I embrace change? When can I do that? Page of Cups. But then you think about your child or children. And then you think about having to apologize to them for maybe making a fast exit, and you don't do it. This is you thinking about the consequences of you living out some kind of dream, and you just put it on the back burner again. Yeah, Gem. What else are you thinking about here? Yeah. I feel, Gem, you are so ready to plant your seeds. You're so ready to begin all over again. You are emotionally and psychologically ready right now. The problem is you are held in some kind of situation or contract where you cannot get out yet. If this is romantic, Gemini, you may be waiting until your kids are older, or you may be waiting for another 6 months. It could be even financial. You are having to hold on somehow, Gemini, and it may be something to do with whoever's carrying the Ten of Wands. Maybe you're trying to figure out whether or not they're going to be okay. If it looks as if in the next few months they're less burdened, they're less stressed, they are able to rebuild the tower, then you may be able to get out sooner, Gemini. But you can't leave this person in it. That's what you're worried about. I can't just walk away yet, because what if they can't cope and they turn around and realize I'm not there? I'd never forgive myself. But in your mind, Gem, you're already thinking about the Ace of Pentacles. I just want to leave. I just want to begin anew, right? I just want to be with somebody else. And then you're right back where you started, with your feet on terra firma, doing what you need to do every day. Yeah. Not easy, guys. King of Swords. So whether or not you're a King of Swords or a Queen of Swords, or you could be bouncing emotionally, you know, between energies, with a King of Swords, you're keeping one eye on your future and you're keeping the other eye on someone here who's burdened. All the while, you're dreaming of getting out of this, Gemini. You're creating a silent plan. So, guys, In the immediate future, there will be temptation. There will be. The temptation may be to take some form of action, because there may be a period of time when this person has their back turned. Now, of course, that could be symbolic. They could be focusing on other things, and this is you thinking, oh, whilst they're focusing on other things, I can see if I can make a change here. Or it may well be, Gemini, that this is someone who simply heads off and sees extended family, and you're left there on your own thinking, okay, I could pack up the house and just leave a note, really sorry, couldn't do this anymore, thinking I'm not going to have to face the music because this person's not in the house, right? But Gem, there's a resigned look on this person's face with the Seven of Swords. It's as if I would love to be able to do that. But first of all, I feel too guilty. Second of all, I know that I would be putting unbearable burden on this person. And this is someone you're connected to and I think do care about. And also, Gemini, you're very worried that, maybe in terms of karma, you'd have to face a long line of lessons all over again because you would have known that you would have sat in the Seven of Swords. Somebody would be binning your points up there in the universe. Okay, Jay, you did this. Sorry, you're losing all your points, right? And this is you thinking, I can't deal with that. I just can't deal with that. But this is going to be a temptation, Gem. So, Archangel Michael, when do we have the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Wands for Gemini? Thank you, Michael. I'm hearing shifting sands. I'm also hearing quicksand. Why do I feel, Gem, you just want to disappear? Okay, all right. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. I'm seeing quicksand. Okay, so Archangel Michael, thank you. Yeah. 23rd of October. Really? Okay. I think, Gemini, this is you thinking about doing something you shouldn't do, but you're not going to do it because this is in the immediate future, which would not be October the 23rd, because that's quite a way into the future. So you are going to abstain from doing this, taking a sneaky course of action, because, Gem, of all the reasons that I've given you, you're just not going to do it. You're not going to do it. It may be, Gemini, partly because you see this person struggling. They are desperately trying to hold up the tower. This could even be a child, okay? You may be thinking, God, if I leave their mom and them in it, oh my God, I'd never forgive myself. This is someone who is desperately trying to hold up a tower. They've had some kind of shock which has rocked their foundations. And what they're looking at is if they cannot continue to carry the Ten of Wands, everything's going to crumble. Everything's going to crumble, Gem. And they're going to have to start all over again. They are hoping that's not going to happen. Now, this is someone who may be relying on you. It could even be financially. Okay, guys. This is someone who is continuing to carry on, doing the best they can, because somehow, Gemini, they feel you are being supportive. If it wasn't for you, Gemini, I have a feeling this person would give up. Not to put pressure on you, Gem, but that's the energy coming through. So the only day that came through was the 23rd of October. Do we have any future dates after that time, Michael, please? February. Really? Wow. 19th of Feb, 21st of Feb, 28th of Feb. You may be connected to a Pisces somewhere here. Okay. Or an Aquarian. All right. That's it. February 2027. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Several months, Gem. Let's have a look at the person who sat in all this burden. Oh, my Lord. Ten of Wands, the Tower, the Page of Pentacles. They're trying to hold everything together, Gemini. They're going through it, though. Yeah, they're putting on a brave face, pretending everything's okay. They're wearing a false mask, Gem. Underneath, they are really stressing out. 5 of Wands. Yeah, they are in internal conflict. Can I carry on? Can I continue? They're carrying a lot of burden. They're super stressed. They could simply feel overworked, exhausted. This is someone who doesn't know if they can manage to continue in a cycle that they've been working on for quite a long time. They don't know if they can continue. They are looking at you as if you are their savior, Gem. They're looking at you as if you are their savior. If I really get to the point where I cannot do this, Gemini is there, right? Little do they know, Gem, that you're looking for a quick exit. I don't know psychologically, guys, whether or not they feel a bit nervous because they might sense that you're trying to pull back a little bit. They're hoping that you don't, Gem. Tell us more about this person who's stressed out. 8 of Cups. Okay. They're very worried, Gemini, that they may have to walk away from a situation they've been working on. This is someone who may be worried they can't afford to pay their rent or their mortgage. This is someone who may be afraid, Gem, that they simply cannot meet their expenses. And this is someone who keeps looking in your direction as if to say, okay, is Gemini still there? Gemini's still there. Good, good. Okay, great. I'm going to carry on. I'm carrying the 10 of Wands, but I'm going to carry on because I have to prevent this tower. But they keep looking in your direction. It's as if they keep checking that you're still there, right? What are they nervous about? What are they worried about here predominantly? Oh, they may be worried, Gemini, that you might run off with a Scorpio. Gotta be honest. They may be fearing that you're going to leave them for a Scorpio or an Aries maybe. Or Gemini, with the energy of the Death card, what they're worried about is if they can't continue, a life that they have been trying for is just going to dissolve. It's going to end. And they may not know what to do if that happens. They may not know what to do if that actually happened, you know? And so, Gemini, they're trying to be sweet-natured. They're trying to be nice to you and appreciative of you. They may now and again say, you know, I care about you, Gem. Thank you so much for being there. You know, really, really appreciate you, that sort of thing. I don't think they're doing it because they're trying to make you feel guilty. If they felt you were wanting to leave, this is not someone coming up with a strategy. Well, I'm just going to keep telling Gemini, I care about you, I love you, you know, don't go anywhere, that sort of thing, to try and make you feel guilty, to prevent you from leaving. I don't think that's the case. They genuinely mean it, Gemini. They do not know what they would do if you upped and left. You're their lifeline, is what I'm getting here, guys. And I don't know why you want to leave, but this is someone terrified of that happening. This is someone terrified of that happening. Okay, tell us more about this person. 6 of Pentacles. You may be helping this person financially. You may be giving to this person financially. They may be telling someone in the environment it's okay because Gemini's there, it's okay, Gemini's helping, right? But I still feel as if this person's desperately trying to hang on to this tower here. They're very worried this tower's going to fall. King of Swords. They are trying to come up with some bright ideas here, Gemini. They're trying to come up with bright ideas here in order for them to maintain their stability. That is what this is all about. How do they see Gemini? Wow. So Gem, they seem to think that you're sat on the Ten of Pentacles, that you have a lot of financial stability. And the Ten of Cups. So this could even be a family member, Gem, that you are helping. They see that you can afford to give to them. But they may also feel, Gem, that quietly you wish you didn't have to. You know, this is you thinking, underneath the surface, I'm feeling very emotional about this because I didn't feel as if I'd have to be in a situation where I'd need to continually give to this person. But what you're recognizing is if you don't, they're going to go under. What is the Seven of Swords? What are you trying to get out of here, Gemini? Okay. All right. I may be connected with the masculine. You might be coming through as the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles. Gem, what you're trying to get out of is giving any more to this person. You want to get out of giving any more. It could be financial assistance to this person. They may feel it. They may feel that you're a little resentful if you've been helping them. What I think the Seven of Swords represents, Gemini, is simply you wanting to stop giving to this person to help them stay afloat, because you want to maintain the Ten of Pentacles. I think you're a bit cross at having to keep giving to this situation, giving to this person. You want to stop this. You want to cancel the direct debit, right? But this is you thinking, if I do that, this person is going to go under. And I don't think, Gem, your conscience will allow you to go down that road. But you do feel stuck. You do feel stuck, Gem. The Devil. Okay. You may have Capricorn in your chart, or you could be connected to a Capricorn. But I think this is you just feeling stuck in the situation. Tell us who is the King of Swords. Sun. This is someone who originally made you happy, Gemini. This is also someone, though, who may live in another area. So you may be giving someone money to maintain a lifestyle in another area that they're worried they cannot maintain. They could be a Leo. What else is going through your mind here in the immediate future? And Gemini, this seems to be October time. Remember that, guys. Okay. Nine of Swords. You may feel, Gemini, a lot of people are watching what you do. You may be feeling, Gemini, all eyes on you for some reason. Temperance. Particularly a Sagittarian might be watching you very closely. And I don't know why. Temperance is Sag. I have to say, guys, there's also a slight feeling of guilt. Even though you're bored, Gemini, you don't want to keep giving to this person much longer. You want to maintain the Ten of Pentacles. Other people are watching you sitting in a place of temperance, sitting in a nice, chilled energy. You may think it's boring, Gemini, but you are sat in a very stable situation. And compared with maybe people around you, Gem, who are not doing so well, who have financial issues, they may feel as if you're living the life of Riley, right? They may feel as if you've got everything that you need. You're nice and secure. You don't have to worry about bills. Lucky you, Gem. Whereas what you're thinking about is, I want to keep hold of as much of this money as I possibly can and head off in another direction and be happy elsewhere. But you don't feel you can. Morally, maybe, you don't feel you can. And you're also worried, Jen, that if you withdraw financial help from this person, if you simply cut it off, they are going to face the tower. And they are going to have to make a major decision to maybe even uproot and move and leave where they are. And Gem, I don't think you could cope with the guilt. I mean, I don't know whether or not they left the area because you two didn't get on. And you may think, okay, well, they left the area because of something that I did or said, and so I now feel as if I need to help them. And you may feel that if they leave this area, Gemini, you two are going to be in a really awkward stepping around each other type situation, and you just couldn't cope with that. You couldn't cope with that. So, Gem, you are staying put, guys. What is the energy between you and this person? Trying to hold up the Tower. Yeah, 7 of Cups. I think, Gemini, whilst you're looking at options of how to get out of this, they are wondering whether or not you are about to do something a bit shady, right? Cut communication, cut financial assistance, head off in another direction without telling them, without giving them any advance warning. They're worried. So, Gems, I think in terms of your fears, 3 of Pentacles, you're fearing, Gemini, that if you try to get out of the situation, if you do something a little bit sneaky, you are going to have to start all over again. You're going to have to rebuild all over again. What you're hoping, Gemini, is you're not going to end up in the 5 of Pentacles, because you seem to be giving this person quite a lot to help them maintain their stability. What you're worried about, Gemini, is you're sort of dipping into your 10 of Pentacles quite regularly, and you really don't want to have to keep doing that. And the outcome, Gem, is the 8 of Pentacles. Now, you may find another way of bringing in money, maybe to top up your 10 of Pentacles. Or it could be, Gem, that you're simply thinking, I've got to carry on. I've got to carry on working on the situation, whilst your mind takes flight, thinking about what you can do when you are no longer maybe obligated to this person, right? Okay. So, Gem, let's have a look at the 8 of Pentacles. You are going to continue to work on this until at least October, okay? We heard the 23rd of October, and then what? Queen of Pentacles. Gemini, you might have a straight conversation with a Queen of Pentacles, with a Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn female about creating some kind of balance. Or you may want to talk to her about a legal contract. This could be you, Gemini, asking another member of your family to take over your responsibility. I have been dipping into the 10 of Pentacles, right, to help out this person. Can I now leave you to do that because you're sat on the Queen of Pentacles energy? You may try to pass this responsibility to a Queen of Pentacles. What is she going to say? Nope, sorry, hanging on to my money. Yeah, no, sorry, Gem. Haven't got any extra cash to spare. She may even say to you, Gemini, all my assets, my money, it's all wrapped up in my house. This is someone hanging on to a house. I don't have any liquid cash. I can't do that. Okay. All right. So that may be you trying to get out of this in October. Ace of Cups. What you're going to recognize is, Gemini, she's sitting in self-love. She is needing to protect herself. She is needing to make sure she's okay. You can't blame her for that. Are you going to be trying to do anything else here? Emperor. I think, Gemini, this is you. I think you're going to try and maintain what you're doing, helping out this person, trying to sit in the energy of the Emperor, even though you may not feel like the Emperor, right? Because you may feel stuck and trapped. You may not feel in control of the situation. You're going to try and continue to do what you're doing, help out this person. What is their situation? Are they going to get back on their feet, or are they going to still need Gemini's financial assistance, is what I'm getting. 3 of Swords. Gemini, you may feel heartbroken, but they will need your continued help here. They will need your continued help. Yes. And Gemini, I have to say, they're also hoping for a far larger amount of money, maybe in your will or in a few years' time. Just so that you know that. What are you going to do? Are you just going to continue this? You may not have a choice. Ace of Swords. I mean, that could simply you recognizing the truth. Okay, I've got to keep this up, got to keep this going, even though I'm dipping into the Ten of Pentacles. Or Gemini, you may find a way out. You may find the key to get out of this. You may find a key or the key to get out of this. This is an aha moment. Oh, I could do that, right? Okay, but you're not going to tell anyone what that is. You're going to keep that a secret. But it might have something to do with a Pisces or a Cancerian. Okay. Archangel Michael's telling me to leave it there, so that's what I'm going to do. But let's dip into Enchanted Forest Gem to end your reading. Okay. So Archangel Michael, what do we have, please, for my lovely Geminis to end their reading for August 2026? Message from the universe for my Geminis for August. Thank you, Michael. Wild and wonderful. Okay, so Gem, why focus on limitations and realism? Breakthroughs and miracles require no linear explanation or method. Unexplainable and illogical magic happens every day. I feel the divine is going to bring you a miracle, Gemini, so that you can get out of this obligation and move forward in a new direction. Yes, breakthroughs and miracles require no explanation. Unexplainable magic happens every day. The divine has this in hand, guys, okay? All right. So my lovely Geminis, I really hope that's helped. Please let me know if this resonated for you. I'd be very interested. This feels quite specific. Take care of you guys. And of course, I will be back before you know it with your next set of readings. See you soon. Bye, Gems.